guys, how are you doing? I'm hoping that you're doing good. My name is bonarerinyakina, and thank you so much for clicking on this video. Now, happy new year, guys. It is finally 2024 and I'm super excited. So I decided that I'm gonna pick it up from where I left it in 2023. And by the way, you guys, I had missed doing YouTube so much. Like, oh my god, I really underestimated how much I loved and wanted to do this YouTube thing. I had put up my Diani vlog where I went to Diani. It was super beautiful. It was an amazing trip, and I thought, why not give you guys the cost breakdown of all my expenditures in Diani. And maybe you're planning a trip or you're working around something like that, you can use my notes and get yourself something like this or even better than whatever I managed to put up for myself. Now, I didn't travel with a tours and travel company. In future, I'd really love to work with a tours and travel company, but for this time around, I paid everything by myself. The point of the trip was for me to relax, go to new places, experience different cultures, and I mean, it did happen just the way it was supposed to. So, without further ado, I think I should just get right into the video. So it was a 4 days trip and 3 nights. I'm gonna start with day one. So day one, obviously, I get up from my house and I head to the SGR. So I use the train to Mombasa. So I from my house to the SGR, I used 580 shillings. That was for the Uber there because it's actually and easily convenient. But if you can access public means that can get you there, you can obviously use that. And then from SGR to Mombasa, I paid 1,000 bob. Now bear in mind that this was last year, and I'm meant to understand that the SGR costs have gone up to 1,500 or thereabout. But for me, I paid 1,000 bob from SGR terminus to the Mombasa SGR terminus. And then from there, I used a matatu to my Airbnb. I chose matatu because it was the most affordable. And remember, I told you guys I was on a budget. Now, once I got to the Airbnb, I freshened up. I really liked the environment, and I was so eager to go to the beach. So yeah, I went to the beach, and fortunately enough, the beach doesn't cost you anything. It is actually 0 bob. So I enjoyed the beach and I got carried away. It was super beautiful. And then for supper that day, I had the local food. I think I had chapati with beef. Yeah, I had chapati with beef at a kibanda just near the beach, and it cost me 240 shillings. And I bought a bottle of water, which was going for 60 shillings. My total expenditure for day one was 2,580 shillings. I know, right? It is super cheap. And my second day, I had breakfast at the same place that I had dinner the previous night, and I paid 150 shillings. And then I went for shopping for the Airbnb because my intention was to make some of my meals from the Airbnb because it could have been affordable that way. And I spent 1,900 for the shopping. And I had lunch at a certain Swahili food joint, which was so amazing. I mean, what's the point of being at the coast if you're not gonna have Swahili food? So I spent 580 shillings for the lunch and the transport to Ukunda and back from Ukunda. The total is 100 bob, and the total expenditure for that day two of mine was 2,730 bob. Now, on day three, the main things that I had intended to do on that day was to do swimming and have dinner. So I prepared my breakfast from the Airbnb. So breakfast was already sorted. I went, had my walk at the beach, and then later on, I went for swimming and I paid 400 shillings for swimming. Now, where I was staying, we didn't have a pool, so I had to actually go to a hotel where they have a pool. So that for that I paid 400 shillings, and then now I had lunch there. It was super delicious. I even called the chef to thank him for the amazing, beautiful food. I think that's the most sweetest food that I had while I was at the coast, and I spent 600 bob for the lunch. And I also had drinks and water. So in this case, I did soft drinks and water, and that cost me 300 shillings, so 100 bob each. And I had two sodas and 1 liter of water, and that cost me 300 shillings. Now for dinner, I spent 1,800. Now that was the highlight of this, you know, trip. I decided that as much as I was on a budget, I also needed to, take myself to a fancy restaurant. I mean, with 1,800 is not a five-star place, but it was a really, really good place. It was aesthetically pleasing. And if you want me to give you guys the details of all the places that I went, I'll be very, very happy to do so. And I spent 1,800 for the dinner, and in total for day 3 I spent 3,100. And now day 4 is when I did most of my activity. Now I came to this trip wanting to relax, so I didn't want to do very many activities during my stay there. But I knew that since I had booked the train for Usiku, my Airbnb was expiring at 10, so I put all these activities during that day. But I did that knowing that I knew somebody who was working in a hotel, so they had given me a little place I had to operate in, because you have to do an activity, go shower, freshen up, change your clothes, and all that. So I wouldn't recommend that you would not have a place that you can do all that showering and freshening up. But for me, yeah, that really worked for me very, very well. So day 4 I did my boat ride. I paid 900 bob. Initially they were asking me to pay 1,000 bob, but obviously I bargained to 900 shillings. And then I drew my henna. It cost me 500 shillings. It was really a small piece of artwork that I had on my hand. It is obviously now long gone. And I also visited the art gallery, where I spent 100 shillings. And then I went to Congo River, where I spent 300 shillings. Now I didn't spend a lot of time. I didn't spend a lot of time at the Congo River because it was now getting late, and I had to be on my way to the SGR Mombasa terminus, where I paid 600 shillings. And then from SGR terminus to the Mombasa terminus, to the Nairobi terminus, I spent 1,000 bob. And then now I got to Nairobi at around 3:35 a.m. So I really had to get myself a safe mean of transportation to my house, and I got an Uber for 780 shillings to my place. And the total for day 4 was 4,180 shillings. Now, obviously, from the pricing, you can already tell that it was a very, very affordable trip, very laid back. But obviously, once you're going on such trips, you need a place to sleep in, and that's where the Airbnb comes in. So I had booked for this Airbnb very, very early, like a month before I travel, a month or two before I traveled. That's why it was this cheap, because I was traveling in December, so I booked early. That made it, you know, cheaper, because usually they take advantage of the high season and hike the prices. So yeah, I think you should do that if you're planning a trip. Maybe book your hotel, or rather your Airbnb, way early. So I paid 2,500 per night, and I spent 3 nights there. So it came to a total of 7,500 for accommodation. So, and the total of my entire trip to the coast and back was 20,090 shillings. And I enjoyed it. If you were to ask me if I would have done that over again, given that tight budget, I'd say that yes, I'd still do it like that. But obviously, moving forward, I'm manifesting more money, I'm manifesting more blessings, so that I can get to spend on luxury and beautiful things. But as of now, that's what I was able to put together for myself. So the 20,090 shillings was spent very, very well. And I'd recommend for you guys to, give it a try if you would like. So yeah, that's that. Tell me, guys, what do you think about the cost breakdown that I've given you? Would you like to try it, or is it too little for you? Subscribe, guys, like this video, share it with your friends, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now. Bye, guys.